Wonderize, bye! Ha ha ha! Engaging unlimited form. Ha! When I was in the 5th grade, a girl told me she liked me, and I looked her in the eyes and said, "Good job." Here's another personal story. Back in 2013, when the Wonderful 101 first released, I was dying to play it because it looked like Pikmin to me, which I know it's totally wrong, but it's not like I could play it anyway because I didn't own a Wii U. I mean, most people didn't, but even the people that didn't seem to be interested in a niche game in an already niche genre. So unfortunately, this game experienced quite unwonderful sales. The play of this game is one that begins with great tragedy. Flash forward to 2020, however, and a Kickstarter for a remastered port to Switch, PC, and PS4 appears and gets funded in 30 minutes? Like, what the actual, huh? So let's just say it's a success story 7 years in the making. Now you're probably also thinking, Drew, was the same 7-year wait for you to even be able to play the game worth it? Oh my god, yes it was. You want to know how hype I was to play this? I brought a Switch Pro controller just to play this game. So here's a quick review. So if you're interested, you can also play this game. And if you're at all interested, you should play this game. The Wonderful 101 is a game about a bunch of superheroes fighting off an alien invasion. The tone of this game is made immediately apparent with the comic-esque art style and campy theme song.
Go team, demolish those fiends, toss them in the garbage can. Wipe the floor with aliens galore, till the world is spick and span.
If you even went so far as to say this is just a cartoony version of the Avengers, I don't think you would be wrong. That being said, the cartooniness helps justify the main mechanic of the game, the Unite morphs. Despite the large crowd you control, only a few of them serve as leaders, and you draw a shape using the right stick to create their different weapons. A massive hand, a giant sword, a gun that there's no way Wonder Green could possibly hold, etc. You use these to take on each of the various combat encounters, hopefully getting a good rank in the process. More on that later. Now that that's out of the way, if you think that sounds all good to you, go and buy this game right this gosh darn very second. It's only $40 and you get a ridiculously stylish, over-the-top, fun, intentionally cliche, enthusiastic, and utterly unique, dare I even say, wonderful experience for a relatively low price. That all being said, this game's not very nice to newcomers. Heck, it sure was not very kind to me. But the whole point of the game is to learn about the game. That's less obvious while playing as it is to hear, because you're gonna get consolation prize after beating after consolation prize after beating. So, having just finished the game as of this writing and gotten in some more practice, I figured I would provide some tips for people just getting into the game. Anything I can do to help you have a smooth start is the morally right thing to do, as far as I'm concerned. So here's however many tips I could come up with. Let's do it. Number 1, buy Unite Guts and Unite Spring. In fact, anytime you're given the option to buy stuff from the shop, you should do it. There are so many helpful upgrades, and the more you can collect, the better off you'll be in the long run. But your first purchases should definitely be Unite Guts and Unite Spring. This is the shadiest thing the game does on purpose. Not just giving the player the block and dodge moves feels a bit underhanded, so I'm not sure exactly what they were going for here. I don't think anybody who's played the game does. But the remaster at least makes this more or less a non-issue because they're super cheap. So just get them as soon as the prologue is over and you're set. As far as using these effectively, here are some further tips. Unite Spring is your dodge move, but this game isn't all about dodging and then getting a few hits in. In fact, dodging should kind of be a last resort. What you really want to use is Unite Guts, which reflects attacks in order to stagger enemies. This game makes this use clear by requiring it to reflect the tank enemy's cannon fire, but you can also use it for most attacks. Be careful though, because stuff that slices or has a shockwave will bust those guts apart, and that's what spring is for. In addition, you can't just hold the button for guts, it only lasts a set amount of time. So it's a big risk-reward type deal that will take quite a bit of practice, but will really help out if you learn how to use it effectively. Number 2. Practice drawing. Since you have to draw each of these weapons in order to create them, that brings two other big factors into play, the size and the space. The size is obvious enough because obviously, you can take any of these simple shapes and just draw them bigger for a bigger weapon. This means obviously more damage or more area of effect or whatever. Something obscure you should probably know is that with armored enemies, a Unite whip is required, and you can use a bigger whip to yank off more of that at once. Space is less obvious, but by that I mean the amount of space you take up on the battlefield. You're going to want to watch out because enemies can completely cut your line off if you're not careful. Even later on, once you buy the upgrade that lets the line itself do damage, they can still cut your drawings in two. This means that the more directions you can draw the weapons in, the more at an advantage you'll be. Getting to grips with drawing weapons in the first place can be a bit of a task, but as soon as you feel comfortable, practice drawing as many variations as you can. The faster and more variable you can create your weapons, the better your time, combo, and damage will be overall. Not all at once, mind you, but in their times and places. Number 3. Press and hold L. Please do that. You need to. This game's camera can be a royal pain in the bottom. Not because the angle is an issue, in fact one of my more niche praises is that I've really missed isometric views in games, so I'm glad this game brought it back for a bit. But, that being said, the amount the camera is zoomed in is no good. Here's sort of a fix. Hold the L button and it'll zoom out. It doesn't make the problem go away, but it does make it better. We'll say it makes the problem less bad. Number 4. It's okay to start on easy. I know most people will probably grimace at this one, but it is okay, trust me. The game itself describes easy as being for people who just want to have a good time, and getting thrashed about and receiving poor rankings just because you didn't know what you were doing is frankly not a good time. It doesn't encourage me to get better, it discourages me from continuing, and I'm willing to bet I'm not the only one who tends to feel that way. So if you want to do your first playthrough on easy and continue to pick up new information while feeling kick butt, that is totally fine. That's what I did, and as a result I felt far more equipped to really go for a good normal playthrough. Now that being said, obviously I'm not going to stop anyone who thinks starting off on normal is the way to go. There are people wanting to pick up this game who like a game to slap them across the face, or players who love character action games and simply missed out on this one. So my final thought is simply, do whatever makes you happy. I can only suggest things I found helpful, and those may or may not resonate with you, so yeah, do whatever works best for you as a player. At the end of the day, the whole reason I made this video is because I firmly believe everyone and their freaking grandma should purchase and play this video game. At work, I've literally been saying, all the time, every day, with all this standing around, we all have time to play the Wonderful 101, which has really boosted productivity because I'm annoying as hell. So I decided instead of harassing my coworkers, I would harass my 3 YouTube viewers. But this game really is all that. It's very rare a whole playthrough of a game is able to put a huge ear-to-ear grin on my face, even games I love with all my heart. But this game did it from the very first sounding of the team's theme song, and I can't give any higher recommendation than that. So hopefully those tips get you started, but I truly hope that you take the time to experience the Wonderful 101 for yourself and let it put an equally huge smile right on your face as well.
When the job's too ominous for an average Jill or Joe, they go anonymous and watch their powers grow. Got no fame, no fortune to claim, fighting for the status quo. Don that mask and take us to task. Hurry now, it's time to go. sisters and crows. The unstoppable